Hi, my name is Teresa Kovlek, and today I am going to show you an easy and fast way to make a little bumblebee. So these are a couple of paintings. You can actually see this on Instagram. Don't think I have this one on there yet, but I'll go ahead and post it. So I just wanted to show you a couple of paintings here, and we're going to paint the little bumblebees. What we're gonna do is I recommend take and just do a quick sketch. These are just some little sketches I was goofing around with, kind of figuring out where I want a flower or how I want my bumblebee. So these are nice to look at, and it just kind of gives you a perspective of what you're going to be doing. So I'm going to set those off on the side, and what I'm going to be painting on is the Yupo paper. You can pick up the Yupo paper. It's in a 5x7 sheet. It comes with 10 pieces. You can pick this up at Joann Fabrics. Use your half-off coupon, and you got a good deal there. And the nice thing is you can frame this 5x7, or you can take and you can even use this as a card. So we're just going to use our little trays here that I have, and we have some alcohol. It's the 99% is what I'm using, and we're just going to do a quick little sky here, little ink on my brush, and that's okay, and put a little color in the sky. And I like to just go with the flow, and it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just kind of my background, letting it flow through, just a tiny bit of color in there. And then I'm going to give this a quick dry because we're going to put a flower in and then our bumblebee. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do a flower and just kind of put it right here. I'm just going to pick up a few different colors, and I think we'll do another flower about right here, and maybe another one right here. So I'm just coming in, grabbing some color, throwing it on. I don't have to be real exact. It's just a really loose painting. And today I'm just working out of my little trays. These are what I travel with. And they're kind of nice because I can throw them in my box and just add some color. So again, your flowers don't have to be perfect. Just very loose painting. I do use my paper towel a lot on the side here to wipe off some paint and clean my brush. In my little dish on the side here, it is just alcohol. So I kind of like those. And we'll quickly put some little stems on them. Again, it's just a really loose painting. And we'll bring our stems all together. when I'm painting, I just kind of make it up sometimes as I go and look at maybe some different photos. But I love flowers, so I have quite a few in my yard. I recommend definitely taking a look around at the flowers if you don't have any in your yard. Maybe there's a park nearby, or maybe a friend has a flower garden, and you know, take a look at them, take maybe some photos, and then you can come back home and work your magic. So I'm just kind of loosely painting those, and I think we'll put a leaf about right there, and maybe we have another leaf kind of coming off. And another one right about there. And again, I let the ink work for me. Just loose, throw in some color. It's got a little bit of alcohol on it. Just grabbing a little color. I find the biggest trick is just letting the inks work for you. And sometimes the harder you try, the harder it is. So just kind of go with the flow. And then we'll bring some grass coming up, like it's out in the grassy patch there. Pick up some of that blue-green again. And now for our bumblebee. And how I like to do mine is I like to put in the yellow first. So I'm actually going to grab a smaller brush. My brushes that I use are just made for acrylics. And so we're going to go, I think we're going to bring him up because I like this cloud here. I'm just going to bring him up a little bit higher so he's kind of coming in. And I put the yellow in first, so I know that there's going to be a black head, yellow, black, then yellow again. And black, and then a yellow tip. So if I have this too long here on the yellow, it's no big deal because I know that I'm going to cover it up with the black. And the little dish that I'm using here is actually an antique little glass dish. Would probably be used for salt back in the day. I'm going to tap in his head first. And this guy is a little bit bigger than what I want it to do, but it'll be alright. He might just be flying on by. And I'm going to kind of just look at my example that I have as I'm doing it, and just kind of bring him on in. And I know he's going to have some black here in the back. And his wings are going to be right about here. And I'm just lightly touching with the brush. And his legs, just kind of gonna, nothing real definite, you know, just kind of sketch them in there. And I'm going to add a little bit of alcohol on, and it's just a teeny tiny bit I put on. And I'm going to bring his little antennas now. The trick is to have a really nice thin antenna. And we're going to turn this a little so it'll help my hand. And good enough. Then we're going to fix his wing up a little bit. Need a tiny bit of black. And if you put too much on, not a good thing. So it's best to just grab a tiny bit, and it's easier to add than it is to take away. So my brush is kind of like wispy down here because it's been with me for a while, but I find it works out good because I can do my little lines with it. And I'm just cleaning off my brush. It's clean, a little damp on the end, and just kind of rubbing that in. And again, dampen it, wipe it off on the paper towel, come in, and now I can go back and touch up his body just a tiny bit, just to bring it over. And he doesn't have to be a perfect bumblebee. Need a little bit of yellow though. Let's see. Let's grab some from the side here. Nice thing about the alcohol inks, you can have them, let them dry down, and then when you add a little bit of alcohol to your tray, it just livens it right back up. Kind of like using watercolors. So if I want them to have two wings, I could do that, but I don't think I do. I think the other wing would be hiding behind here. If you want yours to have two, you can do two. Another thing we can do with this is we can go ahead and add a little texture to our flowers. And if you look in the previous videos just before this one, you'll see that I am adding the textures, and I show you how to make the flowers. So it's a little more in-depth. This one here, we're just going to add a tiny bit. And I like to just pick a few different colors just to make our rosebuds kind of pop a little. And I don't put it in all the time. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. These are great paints. You can pick up a set of these fairly cheap. And I think I got this set here at Walmart. And I don't think I want to do the bumblebee. So there we go. I hope you enjoy this painting, and you can see more of my work on Facebook or Instagram under Teresa Kovlak. Thanks for joining me, and again, happy painting.